Prologue. New Orleans, Louisiana. The Louis Armstrong New Orleans International Airport, better known by its IATA code MSY, is located in the outlying suburbs of Kenner near New Orleans. Although it is named after the large city of New Orleans, it does not share the same parish. Jefferson Parish is home to MSY, which is similar to counties in other states. MSY is home to 17 airlines catering to approximately 3,145,000 travelers annually. It boasts 3 concourses, A, B, and C, with a total of 35 gates. One of the busiest airlines operating out of the airport is Southwest Airlines, which is based in Concourse B. Southwest Airlines offers daily flights from the Crescent City to destinations across the United States. The city of New Orleans is renowned for its excellent food and entertainment, with one of its most iconic delicacies being beignets and coffee at the famous Café du Mont, located across the street from St. Louis Cathedral in the historic French Quarter. Travelers from near and far stop here to savor the coffee and indulge in the delicious beignets. On their way out the door, some purchase boxes of French donut mix to make the beignets themselves, and cans of the chicory-infused Café du Mont coffee to enjoy in their favorite porcelain mug when they arrive home. Café du Mont expanded its business over the years as its food and drink became more popular in brick-and-mortar locations across the region. One such location was endeavored by its corporate leaders to be in the MSY Concourse restaurant area of the newly completed airport, which changed locations in 2019. It is nestled in the food court of the Concourse amongst other local and national food chains. Transportation Security Administration, TSA, Landside. Concourse B, MSY. Adil Hassan carried only one bag, a dark blue backpack that held his phone charger, 2 changes of extra clothes, toiletries, a book on how to score higher on the ACT, a brochure for Boston College, and a few other items a student might carry. He entered the snaking line on the land side of the TSA security platform where multiple officers stood directing travelers into different lines to expedite the flow of human traffic. One officer held a red leash with a blonde-colored Labrador retriever attached to the other end by its collar. The officer leaned in and spoke, almost in a whisper, to the dog, giving it subtle orders as it made its way, sniffing line after line of people waiting to be cleared. The canine responded to its human partner's command, its tail wagging, and began walking around another line of people sniffing their scent. Adil wore jogging-type pants cuffed at the top of his white tennis shoes and an untucked red and blue striped polo-style shirt. His backpack was slung over his right shoulder by one strap. He watched the dog and its handler without concern, more out of curiosity as he moved a few feet at a time, shuffling towards one of the directing TSA officers. The canine and handler passed him by in line and even smiled at the dog as if it had noticed his facial expression. It was a busy day at the airport and thousands of people were making their way to the concourse indicated by their tickets. The newly built terminal was made up of 2 main floors, the first being the ground entrance for long and short-term parking, baggage claim, and the different airline check-in areas. A bank of escalators and elevators took passengers between the 2 floors, and the second floor consisted of the TSA security lines with multiple conveyor belts and body scanners, where once through, passengers could turn right or left to go to their respective gate for departure. Everyone in line chatted with their traveling companions, some conversing with strangers to pass the time, while others looked at their phones to check their flight status. Adil pulled his phone from his pocket and checked the Southwest Airlines application, showing that his flight would depart from Concourse B, Gate B7. He looked at the time on his phone and saw he still had just under 1 hour before boarding would begin. He made the last turn in the serpentine herding system of metal poles and nylon bands and saw a female TSA officer holding one end of the black strap that stretched across to close off an area while waving travelers into a newly formed line with her free hand. He reached for his wallet, holding his Louisiana driver's license, and opened it with his left hand. He then plucked it from its clear plastic pocket with his right, preparing to hand it to the TSA officer he could see sitting on a stool behind a clear plexiglass shield, manning a computer station. Adil looked at the front of the license, flipped it in the same hand, and looked at the back, wondering if the license looked too new. It worried him that the driver's license might look too new and raise suspicion. He and several of his friends paid top dollar to a middle-aged man in Houston, Texas, for the fake driver's licenses.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.